Yo guys, it's CFB here. Welcome back to a brand new video. Welcome back to the channel. Yes! Fulham 1, Chelsea 2. Chelsea pick up the 3 points and it was a vital 3 points today. Today was basically like a final. We needed the result today. I said it yesterday. Chelsea needed nothing short of a win. And at moments today, I didn't think we was going to get that. And before we do actually get into the proper match reaction, match review of the game, obviously I'm going to go through it all. I just want to quickly say, hopefully you've all had a good Easter. I've had a good Easter. I've had like 2 bits of chocolate and not even big bits of chocolate, and I feel sick now. Sorry for the different background here. My room right now, my computer, I just can't be asked to turn it on and stuff like that. I've got stuff to do downstairs. I've been out most of the day, so sorry for the late upload. So I'm in my mum and dad's room instead, so I do apologise. Anyway, like, subscribe, everybody. Hit the bell notification so notified for my next upload. And first link in the description to my streaming channel, my second channel. Go and check that out. Would be much appreciated. And without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Chelsea get the victory at CRAVEN Cottage, which I said yesterday, like, I had a sneaky feeling today it was going to be a draw. And even when I saw the lineup today, I was still there like, it could be a draw. Obviously, the lineup we did go with was relatively quite strong. I thought it was the better kind of lineup we could have gone with. I pretty much guessed every single position in my match preview, and I pretty much got the team right bar one position. Obviously, it was Robert Sanchez in goal, Marco Correa left back, Reece James right back, Reece James inverting into midfield today. Same with Cucurella. He looked like he was inverting into midfield a couple of times today. Maybe they change up. But anyway, we went with those. Then we went with Levi Colwill, Chalobah as your 2 centre-backs. Looks like Maresca has started to like Chalobah quite a lot. Caicedo, Enzo, double pivot. This is the one position what I got wrong. I thought it was going to be Tyreek George off the left. And I thought it deserved to be Tyreek George off the left. Instead, we went with Neto off the left. Fair enough. We went with Madueke on the right. Palmer in the 10, Jackson as the ST. That's the lineup we went with. Strong. It had to be strong. Today, like I said, we could not have got anything less or anything short of 3 points. So, I can't lie. This isn't going to be the best match reaction to the game because obviously, like I said, I was watching the game at my nan and granddad's. My whole family was there. So at times, I was watching the game. At times, there was other stuff going on in the room. So it wasn't my best concentration on the game. But obviously, the game kicked off and Fulham went and scored in like the first 2-3 minutes of the game. Thankfully, it was offside, and I think deservedly it was offside. There was a bit of me thinking, oh, this could be ropey here. I saw the goal go in, and I was thinking to myself, this is going to be a long day. This is going to be a long day. But thankfully, it got called offside. I think it was deservedly right being called offside. But Fulham did eventually get a goal in the first half. Obviously, they did get a goal eventually in the first half. Reece James being very, very sloppy on the ball. He picked up the ball in the midfield, and he just had a lack of concentration on him. Got the ball completely taken off him. And it's literally a pass through to the edge, not the edge of the box, but like in the middle on the outside of the box to Iwobi, who has got complete room, complete space. Nobody charging him down. He receives the ball, shoots, bottom right-hand corner. It's a good finish, good goal from Fulham. And they officially went 1-0 up, which was bad news in my opinion because I thought if we was to go and win this game, I thought we had to get the first goal. I thought if Fulham got the first goal, they'll be more in control. Obviously, at their ground, they have been relatively quite stable. They've had results over like top teams like Liverpool, for example, and that was recent. So I was hoping we'd get the first goal. But Fulham ended up getting the first goal, deservedly so. We had a lack of communication, lack of control in that first half. That first half was pitiful. And I was thinking that League of Warsaw result that we saw during the week, I thought it was going to be replicated onto the pitch today after that first half. The first half was so long to watch. Fulham, it's again, we had all the ball, all the possession. We did nothing with it. We just passed it around, looking for answers that just weren't there. It was the same thing we always do. And then the very few times Fulham attacked, they got a goal on one of the occasions. And the other occasions, they were playing better football than us. And not just that, their chances were better than ours. Ours weren't really chances. They weren't really chances. Their chances were better than ours. And I was just thinking, this is the classic same thing we're seeing week in, week out. And we're gonna see the fate again. We're gonna see the fate again, and it's due to the same things. It's due to the same things. But luckily, obviously half-time came around. It was only luckily 1-0. Like I said, it could have been 2-0 if that offside goal wasn't offside, but it was offside. If it was 2, I don't think there was any way we were going to bring it back. But luckily, half-time came, it was only 1-0. We get into the second half, and immediately we are playing a little bit more better. We made changes in the second half. Malo Gusto came on. I know Jackson came off at some point in the second half as well, if it was for Tyree George. And then we went with, I think, then Neto went as an ST, if I'm not mistaken. And then the other subs are a bit of a blur to me, I've got to be honest. But yeah, anyway, second half started and we looked better. We looked better. I think the players woke up a little bit in the dressing room in the second half, realising, oh shit, if we do lose this game or we even draw this game, UCL football is no-go next season. You know what I mean? And luckily, we ended up managing to pull through. We obviously got the first goal, which came from Tyree George. The guy I was saying should be starting anyway off the left in the game goes and gets us the first goal to bring us back into the game. Really, really good goal from Tyree George. I forgot who had it on the right. Someone on the right crossed it in. It bubbled past like 2 players and it bounced to Tyree George, who hits it bottom left-hand corner. Really, really good finish. That gives us, and it's late on in the game. I think it was around the 70th, maybe the 80th odd minute. It might have been early 80th minute, I think it was. That gives you that hope. The fact we was only 1-0 down up until that moment gives you that little bit of hope. That gives us the momentum going forward. And obviously, it's not long after. It was 90 minutes plus 3 minutes added on. That was on the board. They added 3 minutes added on. I think it was in a 92nd minute that we went and grabbed the winner. Guess from none other than Pedro Neto. Who's still on the Pedro Neto hype train? Me. I didn't back down. Okay? I said he was off form, but I never backed down. I was still saying here, saying Pedro Neto was going to come up with the goods. And guess what? Pedro Neto does. It's a really, really good finish from Pedro Neto as well. It's kind of the same type of cross, but a lot more into the box this time. I think it's Enzo Fernandez has it out on the right. It's Enzo Fernandez got the assist. He passes it over to Pedro Neto, who on the turn receives the ball with his back to goal, but then on the turn smashes it, roof of the net, right down the middle of the keeper in a way, but a little bit towards the right. Smashes it home. Really, really good finish. Neto does that thing as well where he does he celebrates, but does about 15 celebrations at the same time. And I love the passion Pedro Neto shows. That's why I'm back. That's why I always am a backer of Pedro Neto, because he does try. His quality is there. You've seen it. I just think he's missing an ST. I think he's missing a box-dominant ST. That's when you're going to see the best of Pedro Neto. I'm telling you this right now. That's why I'm still on that hype train. He goes and gets the winner late on into the game. We don't really score many late winners as well nowadays, so I'm really, really happy we did. 2-1. That's the end of the game. We go and take 3 points. I am absolutely happy because I've got to be honest, that first half and early second half, around the first 10 minutes of the second half, I was thinking, that's it, UCL done. I'm checked out. When that first goal, even when the offside goal went in, my brain was checked out. I was sitting there yeah, okay, Europa League time next season. It could still be. This is not me saying this is it. This is the fact that we got the result today. Like I said, the performance in the first half was not good at all. The second half was a bit better. Still wasn't great, but it was a bit better. We still managed to get the winner. Hopefully that's going to give us a confidence boost. But that doesn't mean we've got UCL football now. Let's stay on a level playing field. Let's keep our heads, because our next run of fixtures are still tough. Everton we've got to play, who are on form. We've got to play Liverpool. We've got to play Newcastle at their ground. We've got to play Nottingham Forest at their ground. You know what I'm trying to say? Our fixture list is a tough run. Every game now is a final. Every game, the next 6 games or 5 games, how many are remaining, are a final. We cannot drop 1 point in those games. Because from about 6th or 7th place all the way to 4th, I don't know, maybe 3rd, it's so tight. 1 drop of points can pretty much eliminate you from the Champions League. We need to pick up 3 points in every single game. Am I expecting that? I don't know. We'll have to see how the next game goes and how the performance goes. Let's see if we pick up any more confidence from these games if we do win them. But it's not going to be easy. And the fact that we did get a win today means that we are still in contention. We are still in contention. That's all that mattered to me, because in my opinion, I still think if we did drop points today, that was it, done. I know mathematically it wouldn't have been done, but that would have been done. It would have been. We know what Chelsea's like at times. So 3 points, big 3 points. Let's give player ratings out. Robert Sanchez. We're going to go quickly through this. Sorry, it's not a big video, so it's a rushed video. I do apologise. I'm just quite busy today. Robert Sanchez, I'm going to give a 5.5. Maybe could have done a bit better for their goal, in my opinion, but 5.5. Cucurella off the left. He does what he usually does, you know what I mean? So I'm going to give him a 6. Reece James, I think, came off at half-time. He didn't have a great half, but I stick to this, and I'm going to keep sticking to this. Reece James can play in midfield, but it's against the bottom teams or Conference League teams. And even then, I don't like seeing him in midfield. He's a natural fullback. So I'm not going to sit here and blame Reece James and say, you have had an atrocious performance, even though he did. I didn't think he had a good performance again. He's just not a midfielder. So I'm going to give Reece James a 4.5, I've got to be honest. But it's not his fault in a sense. Trevor Chalobah, really happy with Trevor Chalobah. As always, stable, decent performance. So I'm going to give him a 5.5. Same with Levi Colwill in a sense. In fact, I'm going to give him a 5. My only problem with Colwill today was his lack of timing of challenges. It was a timing of challenges. And what I mean by that is he kept arriving late on challenges. So every time, Fulham would pass it to their centre forward in the midfield and Colwill went to go behind to challenge it, that forward already passed to the midfielder, and that's it. They're already on the attack because they drew out Colwill. Happens too many times. So Colwill, I said, was a 5. Also, his aerial ability is never great. Again, that's a problem today. Caicedo, again, standard. Basically like Cucurella and Trevor Chalobah. Drops in a standard classic performance that he usually does. Is everywhere around the pitch. I'm going to give Caicedo a 5.5. Enzo Fernandez got an assist. I'm going to give him a 5.5. It wasn't for the assist. I'll give him a 5. There was too many misplaced balls from him today, in my opinion. Again, late to challenges, just like Levi Colwill. So I'm going to give him a 5. Neto bagged the winner. First half was a little bit meh. First half. Was one of our more ambitious players in the first half. Second half, obviously, he got better, same with the team. So he went and bagged the winner. I mean, come on. So I'm going to give him a 6. I think that's fair. Off the right, Madueke. I think Madueke was okay when he was playing on the pitch today. I thought he was okay. He does his usual thing. He takes on players, takes a shot at goal, which very few players in our squad do. So I'm not against it in a sense. But there's also times where he shoots and he should pass it to a player. You know what I'm trying to say? Too selfish at times. It's hit or miss with Madueke for me. But I'd say it was a 4.5. I didn't think it was his best performance. Cole Palmer, 5, I think, with Cole Palmer. I don't think he was as involved in the game today as what I would like him to be. Obviously, when Cole Palmer is involved in the game, he's one of the best players in the Premier League, in my opinion. We've not seen it for the last couple of weeks, but I've got reasons to that, and I've got a video coming about that very, very soon if this form keeps continuing. And like I've said in my last video, that's not really Cole Palmer's fault. But I say it was a 5, should be more involved. It's like he just can't find his feet at the moment. I don't know what's going on. Jackson, shit, 4. Simple as that. I'm not even going to go into much detail about Jackson's performance. He's never in the right place at the right time. He lacks the passion nowadays. Remember when he first came in, and people pass around the back and he charged them down all the time. I never see it anymore. He walks around and jogs behind the players and stuff. He never sprints to the ball anymore. I never see it anymore. And it's disappointing. It's a lack of passion. He didn't even have a shot at goal from what I remember today. Poor. Anyway, Tyreek George was the sub that came on. We'll get onto the subs now. Tyreek George had an impact. Should have started in the first half, in my opinion, anyway. This boy, I think I was too harsh on at the start of the season. When he first made that first appearance, I was a bit there like, I can't see it with this lad. I can't see it with him. He's starting to show it. His last 4 games have been an assist, goal and goal. Keep it up. Keep it up. Honestly, Tyreek George is one of our better players right now. Made an impact when he came on. Got us back into the game. If it wasn't for that game and that shot that he took outside the box, do we even win the game? Probably not. I'd give Tyreek George a 6.5. I'm giving him. Malo Gusto, 5, I would say. 5 for Malo Gusto. Who else came on? Sancho came on, I think. I'm not really going to rate him. I didn't really see too much of him. I can't lie. And if there was any more of a subs, I think Tosin came on, if I'm not mistaken. But again, I'm not going to rate him because it was too late. I think he came on for Malo Gusto. I think Malo Gusto came off with an injury, if I'm not mistaken. But I think from my memory, that's about it. I'm just happy we've managed to pick up the 3 points. The 3 points is all that matters to me right now. The performances will evaluate at the end of the season. The performance still wasn't good enough. Let's be real. The performance still wasn't good enough. I do think Fulham, when they went 1-0 up into the second half, how poor we played in that first half, I think Fulham kind of stepped their foot off the gas and decided to not low block but play a little bit more defensive to try and keep us out, because obviously we've always got the possession of the ball. I think they kind of take us for granted in a sense, and then they ended up paying for it. As soon as we got that equaliser, it was too late for them to get back into the game. So, and we obviously had the momentum. I think that's what it was to do with. We wasn't amazing, but we take the 3 points. Like I said, every game right now until the end of the season is it's like a final. So we've got to keep picking up the points. Anyway, that's it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Sorry it's a bit all over the place. I do apologise. Got a lot of stuff going on. Busy and stuff. I do apologise. Hope you've all had a good Easter. Please like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below what you all thought about the game. Take care. Have a good rest of your day and night. And I'll see you in the next video. Get in, Chelsea. Peace.